Yo, what's up, everybody? It worked. Oh my god, it worked. That's amazing. This is... Let me turn the music down, though. This is Let's Talk. My name is Garrett. Thanks for coming to the channel. What's going on, everybody? I'm excited. Now, he can see me right now, but you can't see him. I'm super excited right now because one of the guys I used to watch back in the day on G4 is on my channel. So I want everybody in the chat, don't embarrass me, okay? Because he's just stay cool, okay? Just stay cool. All right. So Chris Gore is coming on my channel, and we're gonna talk about an obscure movie that I've never heard of, but I did watch today, and I have a lot of questions. So many questions. So without further ado, let's get to it. Chris Gore, what's up, bro?
Dude, Garrett, thanks for having me on your show.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
I am ready to talk. I'm ready to talk. I want to say I've been watching you for years on Crowder, of course. We were just talking before we started talking about Change My Mind. I love that segment from
Thank
Crowder. It's so good. And then watch you, in the mornings when you're not banned. I love to watch you when Crowder's not banned. It seems like
yeah, it's nice. Not like today though. So it's short-lived. Yeah, we got banned. Well, yesterday, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
And today.
It's so funny. And then of course on Friday Night Tights, that's where we finally got to meet FNT. Yeah. And
hell yeah.
I'll be on there this Friday as well. There's gonna be a lot to talk about on Friday's show. I cannot wait. Because I know what we're gonna talk about. Spider-Man.
You've seen it.
I've seen it. And I think if your viewers don't mind, I could offer some non-spoiler.
Spoiler free.
And I'm not even going to say even why I liked it. Because if I tell you why I liked it, that could even give stuff away. So I'm going to be very vague. I'll say this. I don't get invited to this kind of stuff. So I was a friend of mine's +1. I got to see it on Monday. And it was a critic screening. And I think I was telling you before, this is a critic screening. These are the critics, right? So imagine how fun it is to see it. This is why I always like to go to, I pay to see a movie and I see it on Thursday night because I'm seeing it with the super fans, right? So critic screening is not my preferred way to see a movie, but it's Spider-Man, so I went. And the critics are there and whatever, they're not as super fans. Maybe they've read some comics, who knows? I've never seen a reaction like this to a movie from critics. Like gasping, screaming, laughing to the point where you couldn't hear certain things. I've never seen that big a reaction for a movie. The other thing I'm pleased to report, it's not woke. It's really
that's the best right there.
Exactly. Unless you're bothered by the fact that Zendaya isn't a redhead. I mean, that's maybe a thing, but that's been for 2 minutes. And I'll tell you this too, going in. Not a fan of those first 2 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
What did you think of
it?
So
I kind of have the same issue with everybody that's not Tobey Maguire. Is I like them, but I don't like the movie around them. I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think I like his Peter Parker even. His Peter Parker and his Spider-Man personas. I just don't like the movies that he's in. It just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. It doesn't feel like that. And maybe it's just because I'm old or whatever. I like the original Spider-Man's because it's got that comic book camp to it. It's got the adventure. It's got he's getting a girl. It's the Mary Jane in there. It's got the evil. It's got all those quintessential comic book kind of trope story things, and that's why it's so good. And I don't think, and I understand why they didn't go that direction. They could have tried to do that again. They went this other direction with the MCU Spider-Man, which is fine or whatever, but right. I just didn't like it. But I think Tom Holland's a good actor, and I like him as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So
yeah, I agree with everything you just said. It's those first 2 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland are just okay. He's better in other MCU films. The character is better in this. I did like Ned. I like Ned as just the concept, and I like the idea that they were going for that I don't think they fully did, which was we're gonna make a John Hughes teen movie, but with Spider-Man. It's okay, I guess. But I mean, this is the best of those films. I don't want to say any more except that I tweeted this, is that it's funny that Sony has made, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie. I won't go any further than that. But I know on FNT, hopefully we'll have like we can have a conversation, but I strongly recommend seeing the movie like now. Like if
as
you can,
soon as possible.
well, as soon as possible, like see it before Friday or before you watch FNT, because I think it's gonna. In order to talk about the movie, I can't really talk about the movie without mentioning things, and
That's
I don't
true.
want to. So many things that, I just don't want to say. We'll get to it then. And I'm actually driving down to San Diego to see it at their Nerdrotic meetup.
I wish I could go.
Yeah.
It's only,
Well,
it's only what, 20 hours away. I could do that.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I could make it.
You don't want to do that because then you'd be in California.
That is true. I don't want.
You don't want to be in California now. Not
it's
with
beautiful there, and I like most of the people, but the government there sucks.
I feel like I'm in a toxic relationship with the government. This is what it's like, a horrible relationship where I don't know, like one day it's this, one day it's that, but no, it's just the government. It's this yo-yo policy that like they can't seem to, and it's none of it's based on science. It's, when you actually look at it at its face, it's I don't know. I'm sick of it. I think before we started, I was even asking you about what it's like in Texas, and it sounds like you're.
It's pretty great. It's normal. We're pretty much back to normal. It's weird sometimes to see somebody wearing a mask. It's kind of, we've flipped it to where before I was one of the people that were like, I am not going to wear a mask. I'm not doing it. Not in Texas, because we would go to other states to do events or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, I'm in somebody else's state, whatever. But once I get home, I ain't putting it on. So I think I wore it maybe once. And I was always getting the looks, people would always be looking at me and be like, "Oh, he's not wearing a mask." So now it's flipped, and there's like one person walking around that has a mask, and I'm like, you feel weird now.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the Donald Sutherland version from, I believe, 1978. But that's a good one. But no, it's I don't know. I'm really envious of these other states that just seem to have, people's great, because no one's saying you don't have to wear a mask. You can.
Yeah, you can. If you want to.
You can if you want, but I don't like that choice being taken from me.
Yeah, I don't like, there's a lot of weird stuff in California, like and we'll get to the movie. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a thing in California where they're banning generators. You can't have a personal generator. Now, is that accurate?
It's you cannot have a personal generator, and I think it has to do with, I'm sure, some climate BS. There's a lot of that. There's like, what are they saying, by 2030, no gas powered cars in California?
Wow, 2030. That's not that long.
Yeah, that's not that long, right? So it's like, all right. I mean, yeah. So, and I think it's new vehicles. You can't sell new vehicles that are. Yeah, so you can still own an older vehicle. The whole point is to phase it out. Yeah. Like, I don't know. California used to be this beacon. I remember when I was a kid, it's just like, you can make a right turn on a red light. California was the first in the country to do that.
Oh, well, it's a good decision.
Right turn on red after stop at a stoplight, right? And I was like, oh, wow, they're really, really way ahead. And there'd always be these other rules, that they would roll out, like being ahead of the game. But now I feel like California is a national joke.
I don't know what happened. It used to be the place that was like, hey, we're all hanging out, we're all chill, you can do whatever you want, we're all super liberal, you do whatever you want to do. Nope. It's completely flipped. Don't put labels on me, man. Now everything is put a label on me and government me harder. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
But okay, we'll get to, we'll talk about the movie. Now, you suggested this. I was like, I always like to ask the guests that I bring on, hey, what's your favorite movie or a movie that you would like to talk about? And you brought up this movie, The Lathe of Heaven. Mm-hmm. Why?
One,
I'm going to be the psychiatrist. Why?
Please, no. I mean, first of all, I could have brought up, hey, the original Superman directed by, Richard Donner. You would have seen that. So I wanted to pick something incredibly obscure, something obscure that your audience may not have heard of. Additionally, something that they can see, and they can see it also, by the way, for free on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's out there somewhere.
There's a link in the description. Is there a link in the description?
I could put a link in the description.
Put a link in the description. And so The Lathe of Heaven is on YouTube. It was originally a film that aired on PBS, I believe, in the early 80s, 1980, I think.
Yes, 1980.
It stars Bruce Davison. It's based on a novel written by Ursula K. Le Guin, who is a renowned science fiction author. And I think it's a beautiful film. I saw it when I was a kid. It blew my mind. I think what I love about the film is it's very socially relevant without hitting you over the head. Like the lead character named George Orr is a guy who, the story behind it is he's having these weird dreams, right? And what he realizes is if he dreams something in his dream, he manifests it into reality.
And it changes like the past as if it, like he explains it in the beginning. He says, if I dream that you didn't exist, whenever I wake up, you don't exist and you never did. So nobody believes that you ever existed. So that's kind of like how that works.
So he's taking these drugs basically to keep himself awake and sort of help with his sleep disorder. And it's a really dystopian future that's very, I think if you watch
it's in
now,
Portland.
Like, yeah. And you're looking at it now, and it's very kind of cheap, like Logan's Run, which is also a personal favorite of mine. But it's also sort of cheap looking in retrospect. But what I love about the film is that, one, there is a bunch of things I like about it. One, there's a romance between the lead character, George Orr, and a woman who ends up being his attorney initially, and they have a romance. And she's black. And
that's true.
Who cares?
They didn't comment on it at all. It didn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter. Because it shouldn't matter, right? So, and the other thing, what's interesting about it is originally when it aired, they used a Beatles song. I don't know how they got away with it, because this aired on PBS of all things.
That is crazy.
They used a Beatles song. Now, in the version that's on YouTube, of course, they've replaced it, and I do own it on standard def DVD. It finally was released, but it was one of those things that was bootlegged at conventions for years. You go through, it's like, oh, do you have like a good copy of The Lathe of Heaven?
You're like going through the DVDs.
No, the VHS.
Oh, even further back.
Yeah. So this was like a widely bootleg thing because it wasn't legally available. Then it's finally legally available, but it's on YouTube to view. So I wanted your
in the description right now.
Exactly. I wanted your listeners, viewers, however you consume your media. I listen to a lot of YouTube while I'm driving. Yeah. So, but I wanted them to be able to see it. So you're talking about a movie. It's like everyone can see it. It's free to watch, and it's very low budget. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, be aware whenever you go into it. There's a lot of like libraries that have some metal, duct work that look kind of vaguely futuristic. It was interesting. I noticed they shot a lot of it in Dallas. It was the city hall in Dallas, the RoboCop building that they used also. And there's a lot of, because Dallas does have like and especially back in 1980, a lot of interesting architecture, very kind of like modern futuristic stuff. They have that ball that's like a restaurant up there, and that looks kind of futuristic, and there's edged buildings.
Right.
So they were like, oh, let's use all of these. And it just kind of looks ridiculous because I've seen those buildings my whole life almost. So I'm like, oh yeah, there's that building. I've seen that. Oh yeah, I've seen that. But
what I like about it is it's low budget. It feels like an independent film. And it also, I think the best thing you could compare it to is like a Black Mirror episode, right? It's very, very much like Black Mirror. And what ends up happening with George Orr is that he goes to this doctor, this psychologist, to kind of help him with his problems, Dr. Haber, right? And Dr. Haber, when he begins to believe that George Orr's dreams can actually change the world, he ends up using this power to change the world into this utopian paradise, right? So he tries to solve racism by coloring everyone gray.
And he's like, you did it perfectly. You removed race altogether, and it like cuts to like a white lady and she's gray, and then a black guy and he's gray, and then an Asian guy and he's gray.
And it's ridiculous. And
funny.
then like he wants to also like, so everything is sort of this twist, right? Like he tries to like,
It's like a monkey's paw thing. That is that
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and solve overpopulation. I'm going to try and the best one is like, I want world peace. And so he gives these, what do they call suggested dreams?
Yeah.
Right. And so he gives them these there's a I'm spacing on what the name.
It's like effective dreams.
Yeah. That's it. Effective dreams. So it's like dreams that he suggests what should be in the dream. So one of the dreams is world peace, right? I want the world united in peace. And they end up being united in peace because aliens come from the moon
Yes.
to attack Earth.
Yeah.
And actually, the alien is something like right out of Doctor Who.
It does. I had that same thing. I had that same feeling when I was watching. I was like, this feels like Doctor Who in a way. Like it felt just like it. And it's funny too, whenever he suggested that the world peace and said, there's no wars on Earth across the globe, no wars. And then there's war in space. That was whenever he woke up, it was war in space because there's aliens coming.
Well, we do have the Space Force now. Don't we have Space Force?
Hey, we have Space Force. The best force there is. Thank you.
Space Force. It's real.
I didn't say that. I've heard people say that.
But what also the other thing that I think is that I've always loved about this film is how low tech it is. I've always appreciated science fiction. I think we've gotten away from that. Star Trek is now about spectacle. Like we just want a bigger thing. This will destroy the galaxy. It's like,
too big.
Star Trek at its heart, it's a human story. It's about human stories. That's why I've always been a fan of Star Trek, the motion picture. If Robert Meyer Burnett were here, he and I would.
I got to get Robert on this show. So I got to get Robert on.
Get Robert. So funny is he lives less than 2 miles away from me in Pasadena, and I only see him on the internet. I'm like, Rob,
you're like right there.
Like, come out, like let's go bar hopping in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Blind Donkey, this bourbon bar that I know that he frequents, and it's just but yeah, I have not seen him. He didn't even go to Comic-Con or LA Comic-Con, but really good science fiction is about ideas, and that's what this movie, The Lathe of Heaven, does so well. It's about ideas. That's why that's what the original Star Trek was about. That's why the new Star Trek is garbage. It's just unwatchable in my opinion. It's just, and the other thing is while the movie The Lathe of Heaven does discuss social issues, it doesn't discuss them in a way that is lecturing.
Yeah, there's not this is what you should be doing. What was kind of great about the message of it is, in the kind of allegory, is the best intentions can come out with bad results. And you could go in and say, solve world peace. You have aliens. You could solve world hunger. You wipe out more than half of the population. Like, bad things can happen with good intentions. And like you're saying, like, good science fiction does that. It's having, here's the idea. What would happen if this? What would happen if this? And you're right, like all of the new science fiction, it's all just spectacle. It's like, oh, what's a big ship? What's a big, what's happening with these aliens? Ooh, they look so crazy. Look at them. They're destroying the galaxy. There's some weird thing going through the galaxy, blowing it all up. Like, that's not what Star Trek was about, at least for me. That's not what any of that stuff was about. And they seem to have, like, lost that plot.
Yeah, I think it's and also I think it's a failure of writers, to explore that kind of science fiction. I mean, that's the best, to me. The best science fiction is about ideas. The best horror is psychological horror. Those things I think are much more effective. And I would say, for everyone watching this, within your grasp, you could probably do your own, at least on the level of The Lathe of Heaven, and probably even do better special effects now.
Honestly, you could.
You could. Yeah. So this is why I've always liked indie sci-fi. It's like, you can do this. And I know it's been a thread that's been discussed on Friday Night Tights. Like, we got to make our own stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've been doing, is working on stuff. Well, I mean, it'll be coming out in the very near future. I have projects that will be coming out, and I can't wait to talk about them.
Well, hey, you earlier before the show just now, you were showing me that book you did earlier. So, I mean, you're still making content. Well, it's funny. It's extra little side stuff, but I think it's still making things.
I have had jobs, right? Like, I've had jobs. Like when I worked at G4, that was my day job, right?
Yeah.
Or I worked, I've worked other jobs where I had a day job. I've never not always had some other project, right? Like, always some weird project that where I'm like, I got to do, because I feel like that just feeds my soul, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I feel it's soul crushing to have a corporate job. And, it doesn't seem like it's very corporate where you work, though. I'm going to be honest.
Mine, no,
looks very
not currently.
fun, actually.
I
Looks like
had
you
a
guys are-
very corporate job before, and it was soul crushing. And let me tell you, it was taking calls at a call center. It was for a movie theater, which is like, you think, oh, movie theater glitz. No, it's all after 10 years of working at a movie theater, all of the magic is gone. It's all gone. So it was just corporate crap, and I hated it. And yeah, where I work now is not. So that's pretty great.
No, it's good. I actually feel
but
like,
even though like I could still have, my main job, and then still, like I'm doing right now, doing the side project, making 3D printed stuff, or making videos and stuff. Like, it's still fun to do that stuff. So it's like that creativity, it feeds that beast.
I think it's always important to have something like that, just so you can, I don't know, it just keeps you alive. It just keeps you creatively focused. So I do like to highlight things where it's like, hey, this is within your grasp. I mean, this is the thing where you hear people all the time, like in the film industry, like, there's not enough of this type of director, filmmaker, writer, whatever. It's like, no one is stopped when it comes to independent film. There's no gatekeepers. The only gatekeeper is you. The only gatekeeper is you, preventing yourself from creating your own opportunity. And I don't know where that spirit has been lost, where people have, like, you don't wait to get the position or whatever. You just create the opportunity for yourself. That's why I'm such an admirer of so many YouTube creators, right? Kind of build an audience through being incredibly authentic is, I think it's amazing. So Lathe of Heaven to me is like one of those things where it's like, it's such a great classic. And Bruce Davison, you'll recognize him. He was in the
Senator Kelly. Is that what you're talking about?
That's right, Senator. He was in the second X-Men movie. The second one?
He was in the first one. He was Senator Kelly in the first one, and he was the one that got mutinized by the big thing, and he turned into water. Yeah, I was like, hey, that guy.
I think I had that action figure.
I did too as well. It was gross.
It was a weird action figure.
Weird.
It was kind of
all the X-Men toys were weird, because there was the Mystique one that had like the rubberized Wolverine that you could put over her, because she could like turn into Wolverine. Oh my God. That was such a weird toy.
Oh God, yeah. But Bruce Davison's done a lot of stuff. You look at his career; he's a guy that's like, and what's interesting is he does a lot of small indie movies too these days. I mean, he still does big stuff, but it's like, I see him pop up in smaller films, and I'm like, it's so great that he's still working. But that film there's a charm to it that is obviously because of his performance, and the actor who plays Dr. Haber, I think, is very good as well.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's so focused on ideas and this sort of like, I'm going to create a utopian society and all goes wrong. I kind of feel like, in a way, we're experiencing the same thing, where it's just like forces. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can read into it what you want, but I believe that there are forces trying to mold society into ways that they would like it to go. And I don't think it's going to go that way. I don't think it's going to go. I think that there are intentions, there are unintended consequences from a lot of things that are happening right now.
Yeah.
And I think some of it's good. Some of it I think is, in a way, like working in the favor of just exposing a lot of BS behind the scenes. So,
it's a whole pendulum thing. They kind of push it in one direction, it's going to fly back in the other direction. I think it'll balance out, hopefully. Hey, hopefully.
Well, hopefully it's going to swing back and kick somebody in the balls.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I feel like there's been an overreach that is just beyond the pale, like nothing I've ever experienced in my lifetime. It's kind of shocking. But Lathe of Heaven sort of talks about the dangers of that. You're trying to create a perfect society, and there's consequences for it. And Monkey's Paw, I'm so glad you brought up Monkey's Paw. It has that aspect to it. So,
you make a wish and you get the wish, but you also get something else. Something you may not have perceived. You didn't think it was going to happen. Yeah.
Unintended consequences. It really is like, I think it's a great story. And the fact that you can actually just watch it on YouTube. I just want to bring
both versions. There's two versions. Did you see the 2002 version?
I have not seen the 2002 version.
I haven't either. I'm interested to see that one and see. It is also on YouTube. You can watch both of them.
I bet it's terrible.
It probably is.
guessing it because
It's
that
shorter.
Was,
it's
right,
a shorter
that
movie.
was early when digital effects like were just kind of like, hey, we can do it. But you look at effects of them, even like the Phantom Menace, I'll watch it like on Blu-ray, and like some of the end scenes, I'm like, ooh, this is like PS2.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It
It's
looks,
like it looked good then. Not now. It's not looking
not
now.
now. It doesn't hold up. Well, maybe George Lucas will do a special edition of the prequels.
Bring him
where
back.
he'll fix. Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's not spiral into Star Wars.
I don't want to. Yeah, dude, I will go down Star Wars lane for a while. I will drive down that road.
It's almost like that is sort of like, like, I mean, because when we talk about like Lord of the Rings, right? Like Lord of the Rings, there's really not much to like. Those 3 movies were great. I don't even like that kind of movie. I don't like fantasy.
Really?
And I love Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Like I
love it. I think it's the best trilogy of movies ever. At least for me. Like it came out the perfect time, it was whenever, at least for me, I was 9 or 10 whenever the first one came out, and I was like it blew my mind. It was so different than anything I've ever seen, because everything I saw before that, it was, it's like fantasy or whatever, there's swords and stuff, but it's like Lord of the Rings hit the note so hard and so correctly. It was real, but it still had the ethereal, the magic, but it felt grounded at the same time. But it's such a perfect trilogy. Amazing. And they did it all the way through. There's not a bad one. I mean, I love the first one because I watched that one the most. But I mean, Two Towers and Return of the King, like they're all just solid all the way. And
the music, just everything about it. And notice what's weird is we don't really talk about those music that much. We don't. Yeah. The score is great, but and even the extended editions. I have the extended editions.
That's the best way to watch it.
And they're awesome. They're awesome. But what's weird is that it's not talked about a lot. And I think the reason people don't talk about it a lot is because there's not. It's like these are great.
We all agree. Like, yep.
We all agree. Like that was an awesome experience. The fact they came out like year back to back, like it's just it's a remarkable achievement. Like for Peter Jackson to have done that and just to pull it off to someone. I am not a fan of, like, I remember the original Rankin Bass cartoon, The Hobbit from the 70s. That was my only kind of experience. And I remember like people would read Lord of the Rings. I'm like, yeah, one day I'll get around to reading that, but I'm not really a fantasy guy. I'm not like a sword and sandals kind of fantasy medieval. It's like, that's why I could never really like Game of Thrones. I know people like the last season of Game of Thrones, everybody hated it. And I'm like, it's okay, because I wasn't really invested.
You lucky son of a bitch. Like, God dang, I was so invested. I was hardcore invested in that show, man.
I wasn't.
And then it just ripped my heart out.
When it ended, and I was just like, oh, that seemed like weird that they wrapped it up so quick. Like this big build up. It's like that last season should have been 2 seasons, right? And it like, what did they do? What were they thinking?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
And they kind of shit the bed on that franchise. But Lord of the Rings, I think the reason we don't talk about it a lot is because today it's a classic. It remains a success. It's it's just disappointing that Peter Jackson followed it up with a Hobbit. What was that all? That was terrible.
Horrible.
That was bad. But I feel like Star Wars is like a wound to some people, right? Like, I think the prequels have aged better, but the sequel trilogy is like almost like universally disliked, right? Like they just
all of the accounts on Twitter very quiet. They've switched their names over to some other, they're probably MCU accounts now. Like nobody likes it. Nobody likes the fucking show, like those movies. Nobody. Such a disappointment, man. And I was hyped for those too. I was like, I'm super excited. Like, oh my God, they're gonna come back and those trailers look so good. Damn, dude.
Yeah, I think any one of us could have done a better job at least managing. Easily. I mean, it's just like there's some sort of things that need to happen in it, and they just did not think of
the first thing you think of, if I got Star Wars, what would I do? I would plan it out. They didn't do that. They didn't plan it out. They didn't go, okay, movie 1, 2, and 3, this is what's going to happen. George Lucas can do that. He did that with the first trilogy. He can do that. because he's George Lucas. Okay, you're not George Lucas. You need to plan this shit out, and they did not. They just went, hey, hired gun, you make a movie. A different hired gun, you make a movie. Now, fire the third hired gun. Now we're gonna give it back to the first hired gun, and then if you criticize it, they're the creators, and you're just entitled. You're an entitled fan. Yes, I'm an entitled fan because I've liked this movie my entire life. Especially the whole Star Wars community. I see I'm going down this road. We're going down the road. The whole Star Wars fandom kept Star Wars alive. Fucking Kathleen Kennedy didn't do that. No. Disney didn't do that. J.J. Abrams didn't do that. The fandom did. The fandoms were the one that went out to Comic-Cons dressed as random obscure ice cream machine guys. That was the fans. That was not them. So yes, fans are entitled because they are entitled to this franchise because they kept it alive. And then you took it and went, this is ours now because we just paid money for it. Fuck Disney.
No, it's the fact that they pay, and then also look at the way that the franchise has been treated. I knew there was first red flag to me was how crappy all the merchandise was. Remember they had this what do they call it, like Force Friday, where they would all the new Star Wars toys are out. And I remember going to the store and not buying anything and just going like the cheapness of the toys was just so like, oh, this is awful. Like that was like the first red flag. And then I remember just like walking out of Force Awakens, my big beef is just the way that they handled the death of Han Solo was horrible. That was just like, there's nothing wrong with flying the Millennium Falcon off into the sunset, right? Or into a lens flare, as J.J. Abrams probably
as he would.
Like, it would have been fine. I mean, look, this is the thing. It's like a wound, like something like we didn't get what we wanted. And it was like, it's so easy. I think there are other movies that have come out, like Ghostbusters Afterlife being an example. Like, was that so hard? And one of the actors is dead and they did it.
They pulled it off.
Did it with respect.
Yeah. They never gave us Han, Luke, and Leia. Like, Gary said this multiple times. That is the biggest mistake in cinematic history ever. You never put them together.
Yeah.
You systematically went, okay, Han, he reverted back to being a piece of crap. Killed.
Right.
Luke, he reverted to being worse than he ever had been ever. Killed. Like, what is... It's nuts to me that they never thought, hey, let's get the original team back together. But whenever they had the trailers, we're home, Chewie. Everything's back. Everything you all of the legends were true. Like they fostered that the trick of you're a fan. It's Star Wars. It's home. And then they went Han Solo dead, Luke dead, Leia also dead. Everything you liked about Star Wars is now subverted.
In terrible ways, too, because, like, literally, if you're, I don't know if you have kids. You have kids?
Yeah, I've got 3 and a 4th one on the way.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Like, at some point, you're going to show them the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Or you may have already.
I've showed my son. We went. Okay. It's been a while though, because the whole Disney thing is just kind of it because it's soured my
sequels. You don't want to watch the sequels at all. Like that would just why would you do that? Oh my God!
Hell no.
Like the fact that they shit the bed on that, it's shocking to me. And then everything else from like this Star Wars hotel that looks so...
Oh my God, it's so cringy. They don't understand Star Wars. It's just simple. It's a simple fact. They do not understand it. They messed it up with the park before. It doesn't feel like Star Wars, and they just did it again. Like, I don't know how do you mess up Star Wars like this? It's like they gave you a golden egg, and it was like, we're done. It's here. That's all we have to do is make another one. And they went, oh, well, let's just throw it in the mud. Like,
well, and there was that.
It's not hard.
That quote from Marsha Lucas, who edited,
Star Wars, that was a great quote.
Where she just talked about how they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And it's so disheartening to hear her say that, because she's 100% right. And George Lucas has been fairly quiet about it.
Yeah.
Very
quiet. I think it's the opposite. I think it's really good, at least for me, to hear it from her, because she has the cred. She worked in the original. She was
Yeah.
married to George for a long time. She's a female professional. Look, you can't criticize her. And
Yeah.
she has the cred to back it up. And then she says they don't understand Star Wars. And it's like, yeah, they don't. Thank God somebody will finally say it. They do not understand it.
This is why all these reboots and whatever are just not, because it's not coming from the original creator. I mean, going back to the original Ghostbusters, that was like a passion project for Dan Aykroyd for so long. And there's a really good documentary. God, I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it's a documentary about the making of the original Ghostbusters movie, and like the iterations, the different iterations of that script. It was a vastly different movie. I mean, it was just like creative lightning in a bottle to get that first movie made, right? And of course, the second movie is pretty awful, but
I kind of like it.
Sort of this,
I've got like a little soft spot for the second one too.
Oh, it's I mean, look, it could be.
It is not as good. I'm not saying it's anywhere near the first one.
But Afterlife is just like, okay, this is, I have some beefs with it, and I watched there's a lot of criticism I have of it. Having said that, I still really enjoyed Afterlife.
Yeah.
I feel like it just and oh God, it just is so disheartening, because all these sort of IP franchise things, they're not the person that's in charge of it is not a creative person. It's the corporation, right? It's like what Francis Ford Coppola, he calls it factory filmmaking. That's
Disney.
Yeah, that's Disney. Yeah, that's why it's like I have no faith in, all this Marvel stuff going forward. I really just do not have. I really think it's dead, and I don't know why. And it even like makes me question: is there some like agenda where like everyone's just been told like this is the agenda we're putting out? These movies, we're just going to use them as a platform for propaganda. This is the messaging, because it's
Phase 4.
Like
Phase 4 is pedal to the metal with that agenda. It feels very hardcore. Like as soon as in game, when they had that scene with all the females, that's whenever everything kind of fell apart. Because everything after that is like you see it time and time and time again. The females are like the more empowered character. They're smarter. They're better at everything. It's like the Hawkeye, Loki. Like how many times over and over and over is that like the storyline is Hawkeye. It's a Hawkeye show. It's supposed to be about Hawkeye, but they open the show with the new Hawkeye. The intro is her origin story. It's all about her and not Jeremy Renner, the one that we've been following for 12 years. It's ridiculous. If you were actually doing it, and if I was given the story Hawkeye, and they were like, hey, could you set up this new character, Kate Bishop, because we've been going with Jeremy Renner's Clint for a while, let's set up a new character. Okay. I would do first season would be all focused on Clint. It would be starting off with him. Maybe she comes out a little later down in the season, but it kind of trickles her in. And then the second season, more of her. I wouldn't just start the first season off with nothing but her. It's like her. And there's like a little bit of Jeremy Renner in there. But that's the same kind of thing with all of those.
I haven't watched it.
It's
I just like the Disney
boring.
Plus shows. I think they're like Disney shows, right? They kind of take me out of it, and it just doesn't. Now I have a prediction about Marvel Phase 4 and where things are going. Can I tell you my prediction?
Lay it on me.
You're going to see a lot of like female characters become more in prominence, right? And they're leaning into, obviously we know the multiverse is here and coming and going to be in a big way in the movies with the Doctor Strange movie. My feeling is the multiverse was obviously to blame is going to be Tony Stark, and the female characters are going to have to fix what all the guys screwed up. So they're going to have to like this multiverse was created because of the events in Infinity War and Endgame. And now it's up to the women to fix.
We gotta come up in here and clean up your mess.
Oh, you dumb guys! So that's just my prediction of, I don't know if that'll be Phase 4 and 5, but maybe Feige is like leaning into it because he's getting pressure and he's like, okay, fine, let's just go this way and we'll see if it's popular. And it's not.
It's not.
It's not popular. And
Well, it would be one thing if
so,
if the characters were actually strong female characters that had good stories that were actually interesting. But the problem is that it's not, and that's not what the point isn't to make a good story. It's to push this agenda. Kevin Feige said that he wanted more female superheroes than male. Like, why? Other than having just the stupid agenda. It's checking a box saying, oh, we have all these females. Like, think of all the shows that are coming out. We have the Hawkeye show. There's an Echo show. There's a Miss Marvel show.
Who's Echo? What's Echo?
Echo is a Daredevil villain. I don't know a whole lot about her, but she's in the Hawkeye show. She's deaf, I believe, and she's a villain. So she's getting her own show.
Great.
Sounds fantastic.
People are clamoring for the Echo show.
Right.
Nobody is.
It doesn't make any sense. There's tons of characters you could go to that are female that everybody knows already, that are great Marvel characters.
I've said this before, but there are a lot of female Marvel fans. Yeah. And I guarantee they're fans of Marvel because of Beefcake, because they want to see hot guys kicking ass, right? Like
every single movie has the dude taking his shirt off. Even Spider-Man, even Tobey Maguire, he took his shirt off.
Yeah. It's a Marvel trope. Like, guys got to take their shirts off. It's kind of goes with the job.
It's part of it.
And I think it's like so funny. Didn't Kumail and Johnny get like all jacked and then he never took his shirt off in Eternals?
That is
true. Or maybe
true.
they cut it. Oh my God.
I don't think he took his shirt off.
But it's weird because, you know, I mean, sure, you can blame like the box office, you know, for people. In fact, what's weird is, and I'm not saying this to like drop a name or anything, but I happen to be at a party that Johnny Knoxville was at.
Oh,
and I love Johnny Knoxville because he has hair that looks like mine now. It's all spiky and silver.
He stole your look.
I told him, I said, look, I came up to him and I said, you've got the second best hair at this party. So I was chatting him up and I was just like, hey man, so like what happened to Jackass? It was supposed to come out on the same day as Dune. And he says, look, the box office, half the people are not going to the movies. 50% of the people are not going back to movie theaters. So we thought we'd push it. I think it comes out in like February, like around the Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, really? I was looking forward to that too.
Yeah, no, I was, oh my God, that new trailer. I've loved all the Jackass films. They're awesome. I love them. But so he just said, look, people like the box office, we're just waiting it out, right? So they're kind of sacrificing a lot of these movies just to get the box office. I'm really curious to see how Spider-Man, because I went to actually, I mean, I bought the tickets in San Diego when Gary like announced it on one of his live streams, and I was like, oh fuck it, I'm going. Like I'll just get tickets. I mean, the theater was like half sold out. I'm sure you can't get tickets now, but like I have friends of mine.
It took me a long time to find tickets.
I think that is going to be the movie that's going to bring people back, and it will not be like I'm going to see it tomorrow, but I'm going to see it again too. Like I'm already planning. Like I want to see it. Like it's also one of those movies you got to see it with a crowd. You got to see it with a packed audience. Packed audience.
Count the hours away. It's the only movie that I've been like excited to go see. I mean, especially now because yesterday I watched all 3 of the Tobey Maguire movies, and so I'm like Spider-Man hype right now. And yeah, it's and like you said earlier, it's like all of these Marvel movies have just not been good. This whole year, we've had so much Marvel this year, and none of it has been good. It's nuts to me. So I'm hoping just finally, hopefully this one will be good. And you said it's good, so.
Well, I'll say the new Spider-Man. The thing that was the most surprising is how not woke it was. Like, there's not like a cringe line. They even kind of at one point there's almost like making fun of woke in a way. You could kind of interpret it that way.
Nice.
But there's nothing about it. It's just a good story. It's a really good story, and it's almost like Sony got the message with just like oh. That's where Marvel's going? Yeah. We're not going to do that. And, you know, and I didn't
It's Sony's year. It's Sony's year. They came back with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Venom did pretty well for its low. And again, no identity politics in either of those movies. So I think Sony is a safe place to go if you want to go watch a movie that's not woke. you can probably bet that the Sony one won't be, because they're just like, hey, we want to make some money, and those movies don't work. They do not work.
I wonder if, because it's so easy to change things like with ADR, additional dialogue recording and just cutting around things. I wonder if there were some more wokish elements in this movie that were excised when they began to see the pushback.
And they definitely had the time, because all the movies got pushed. So they're like, hey, we got time. We're seeing these movies coming out that people don't like because of these specific issues. Let's just cut them out. Let's get these identity politics stuff out. Let's just have a fun movie.
Right. Well, I mean, not like your audience would care about this, but I did see West Side Story, and or you could say Woke Side Story.
Woke Side Story. Was it that bad?
It wasn't that bad. I will say this. I'm a huge fan of the original. The original West Side Story was, as a kid, it was a family event. This is like when there wasn't even VHS, right? This is the 70s. So I was a little kid in the 70s, and it was like one of those things where it's like the whole family gets together and you oh my God, it was like Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind.
Wizard of Oz was like our thing. We would watch every year.
It was an event. It was an event because there was no VHS. There's no this movie's on TV. We can watch it on TV.
This time, right now, let's all get together right now. We can't watch it any other time.
You get a good seat on the couch. We got the whole family room was around the TV, and then it was just you'd run to the bathroom during commercial break. Like it was like a thing. So West Side Story, I have so many great memories of my family watching it. It's a very accurate remake of it. The songs and everything. I mean, there's a lot of twisting of things that just don't work. And the fact that they didn't have subtitles for the Spanish, which was fine for me because I took 2 years of Spanish in college, so I could I generally understand. But my girlfriend, my girlfriend, she's sort of why is it not? I mean, we watch movies with closed captioning all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they not do that? And it was like Spielberg trying to kind of virtue signal. It's like, well, I don't want to diminish the
We don't want to give English the power over Spanish. Well, it's like, people that don't speak English either would also like to understand.
Right. It's ridiculous. Although I do feel fortunate we have some of the best movie theater, screens in Southern California because the industry's here. And they do offer, if you go on the AMC app, you can actually go see movies. I'm talking about any movie you can see with closed captions.
Oh, yeah. They have you can get them from the box office. The little readouts, they'll read out, that has all the closed captions on there. You can read those.
I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah, you can. It's I think it's to be compliant with disabilities and stuff. Every theater has to have them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so you can just go up there and ask for it, and you get this little thing that sticks in the cup holder, reads it out, and you can get all kinds of stuff on there.
That's cool. So I don't know why, we just went to a screening of it. Barely anybody was there, but I can't believe a Spielberg movie. But also I look why are you making that movie now? What is the point? Usually if you're doing a remake because we're updating it because of this, because either society's changed, we're gonna, but there are so many cringe lines in it. The one that really stood out, and I was on Midnight's Edge actually, with I was on Monday with Paulie from Latino Slant, and we were talking about it. Yeah, no, he's great. And so we were chatting about, but there's all these cringe lines. One of the lines was, "You don't want to be a bunch of can't make it Caucasians," and it was making fun of the white people in the movie because they were poor. And I was just
dang, man, that's me.
And I was just and that was a thread in the movie. Spielberg really leaned into it in the script. And I'm just oh God.
Not cool.
The thing is, look, the dance numbers, the music were great, but all the virtue signaling was just made it kind of unwatchable. And here's what's going to happen. It's going to win a ton of awards in Hollywood. You know why? Because diversity makes things great.
Yeah. But nobody will be watching those award shows. Nobody watches those shows.
They will not. They are. It's I would almost even say award shows are kind of a dead genre.
Oh yeah, I remember how they used to be big. It used to be oh, let's all watch the award show. Now that's just they're dead.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. All right, I have a super chat here. Evil one for $5. I miss DVD Tuesdays, Chris. So do I. You did a little bit of one on F&T. That was pretty awesome.
I did. You know what? I even have a pile here. From the last time I was on FNT of some DVDs. Yes. I miss it too. I may at some point make an appearance on whatever the new
Right.
G4
Yeah. They're doing their
Attack of the Show.
kind of the
I may
revamp.
do that. I have a documentary coming out next year about Attack of the Show and my experience on it. But yeah,
I'm excited.
I miss like being able to like, talk about like whatever the latest movie is, but then like throwing in like a weird thing like a Lathe of Heaven, right? Like some obscure thing. But you know what I love is I love like, FNT, your show, what Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, like, RK Outpost, like all these sort of shows, comics division that have all kind of splintered off. Like, I feel like what YouTube has done is replaced what G4 used to do, right? Like, that's why I feel really bad because
that's where I go. I go to YouTube to get the information that I used to get from G4. It's like I don't know, I don't know why G4 shut down because they were right there whenever they could have jumped right onto the internet. It was perfect.
That answer will be revealed in the documentary, and it won't be as shocking as you think. But it's really interesting because what I think G4 did was kind of like show to people like, hey, do you have a passion for something? Just talk about it authentically.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the secret, right? And so what happened was when G4 went away, what it did was I feel like that was the beginning of the rise of YouTube and independent YouTube creators. Because think about it, when G4 ended in 2012, I mean, that was like back in the day when like, do you remember when YouTube, the longest clip you could upload was 10 minutes?
Yes.
Like,
they would like limit you to that. Yeah. And then I think it went to like an hour. Can do longer than an hour. And now it's just
it's like
whatever you want to do, man.
You can do a live stream. I saw a live stream that was like, I thought that I had to like go like, wait, is this real? It's like 354 hours.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like I was
super
like,
long.
whoa, like a weird long live stream.
It's nuts. There's actually more to the super chat, so I don't want to miss the evil one. So he misses DVD Tuesdays, and so do I. I miss the Soul Patch, bro. You got to bring that back. Do you think
not going to come back? I'm sorry. It's the only thing not coming back.
Do you think mainstream horror IPs are becoming woke and will hurt the fan base or franchises in the long run? I'm sure scared.
I think 100%. I think if there's any type of fan that really does not like wokeness, it's horror fans. Right now, I like when you take ideas and kind of weave it in. Like, there's this really bizarre horror movie on Shudder. If you have Shudder, which subscribe to it for a month because it's cheap and just watch a ton of stuff. But there's one called Slacks. It's SLAXX, and it's like a horror movie inside of like a Gap, where these genes come to life and murder people. But the reason behind it's because the genes were manufactured in a third world country and so they're like, so they kind of weave it in kind of a fun way. So there's like a little bit of a woke message, but it's kind of goofing on it in the sense that like, it's like, look, there's a social message behind this, but also it's just like about killer genes, right?
Yeah,
which I'm sure
hilarious.
was the working title for that. I interviewed the director of it. She was awesome. In our conversation, but that movie is just so bizarre, like that I kind of liked it, but that's like a good use of wokeness, like acknowledging it's there but goofing on it and like murdering people. But yeah, I just don't think that the horror community is willing to accept it. I think if they try, it'll tank horribly.
Yeah, I was talking to Gothics about Jordan Peele and his kind of horror genres, and the kind of degradation down into just woke identity politics, like Get Out. So Get Out, what I like about it is that it takes your expectations of racism and race relations and uses that against you, and by the end of the movie, that's not what it's about. It's about something else. But I feel like what the producers saw were, Jordan Peele is the black director that does race-related horror films. So then they're like, now you do that. Now you produce these movies. You do Us. That's all about race and class systems. And then you do, what was the last, Candyman? I don't think he directed that one, but he produced it.
He didn't direct. He executive produced that one.
So it's like this like I don't know if it's him or not, but it feels like they're kind of pushing him into that pigeonhole. You're now the race horror film director. And I'm like, what was so great about the first one was that it took that and flipped it. Whenever she was driving her boyfriend to the house, the cop stops him. You think it's all about race, but really it's they're trying to do something else, and they flip it on you, so they uses it. And he kind of got rid of that interesting part of the commentary.
But I like at least his movies, I think, are worth like talking about, like after you know what I mean, like they have ideas that kind of end up being sort of a brainworm in a sense, where you can talk about, like we're still talking about Get Out, right? Like that's
I talked about Us. I don't like the movie Us at all, but I talked about it for like hours after. Like me and my friends, we went to New York to go see my friends, and we watched it there, and we just sat on the rooftop just talking about how so wait, the mechanics of how the people on the top and then the people under, and where did they get the costumes, and wait, with this, so it was interesting to talk to. So I definitely see that.
Yeah, no, I think if anyone does it well, it's him. I mean, it's like, look, wokeness is, you know, as much as like there's pushback against it, and I think it's like ultimately will fail because it doesn't appeal to normal people. It just doesn't. And it's also, I think in many ways, is sort of like permission to be racist. Like, you know, like you were talking about, like, let's have a people of color time at the park. Like, wait, what?
It's nuts.
Why are we separating anybody? So in a way, it's sort of like permission to be the thing that you claim to hate. It's so wrong-headed. I'm surprised that people, I mean, it's becoming almost religious, like in many ways, you know, just like sort of the, you know, these dumb terms like being vaccinated and unvaccinated, I think is just sort of ridiculous, you know, like, so
you are saved or you are the unsaved lost.
Oh
you are vaccinated or you are not vaccinated.
I just think that I think that horror has always been like a great place to discuss like the things that terrify us, you know, especially like after 9/11, we saw like this sort of wave of, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, of like torture porn films, right? Some of them were good, you know, and others were just sort of just riding the wave. But I've always loved like horror that is about more than what's on the surface, right? Like, having said that, give me a good full moon entertainment movie or a good like a good, I don't know, trauma film any day.
Yeah,
like
just stupid slasher, like
right, like
gore stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Poltergeist is so bad and so awesome. In fact, I think I have some DVDs right here. I could just sort of do
impromptu DVD Tuesday.
Impromptu, like why not? Like, here, just give me a sec. I'm gonna find.
I will read a super chat while you're doing that. How about that?
Cool.
Marksman of 117B for $5. What's up, Mark? One half love you guys and enjoy the talk. I've been hanging with Russian hard. Wait, what? I've been hanging with Russian hard bass crowd. What does that mean? They love three things: hard bass, Doge, and memes. Hard bass, or is it hard bass? Are they fishermen?
I don't know.
I can't tell.
Maybe it's like when you say someone is based. Like, does he mean like they're hard based? Is that like being more than being?
I can't tell if they're a bassist or if they're a fisherman. You know, it says bass.
Right.
He says it twice too.
Oh well, there you go. Bass. Well, it must mean bass.
Well, thanks, Mark. Thank Mark. I like it.
I always thought like
Mark is a good guy.
I always thought Batman is based.
Batman is based.
Batman is based. Think about it. Especially if you read like
he takes his wealth and like tries to fix this society.
Right.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, the first one, you're like, oh wow, Batman's really right wing.
That's like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he understands that there's like corruption, and something needs to be done about it. Yeah,
Clark is just a tool. But all right, here's some DVDs we can talk about. I will never get rid of this, which is the Ray Harryhausen collection.
Oh, that one's so good.
Which is great. Earth versus the Flying Saucers. It came from beneath the sea. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. 20 Million Miles to Earth. Saw all these movies when I was a kid. They're all like stop motion animation.
Hell yeah.
The Best of Ray Harryhausen, which is great. If you can find that, pick it up. A documentary about Flash Gordon, the guy Sam Jones, who played Flash Gordon. And I'm not saying this just because I'm actually in this documentary.
Oh, really?
I turn up in a lot of documentaries, actually. I'm in Doomed, about the Fantastic Four movie that was made by Roger Corman in the 90s. Because I was on the set. I was on the set, so I'm in that. But this movie, what's cool about this, it's a documentary about Sam Jones and Flash Gordon fandom. I never knew this until I watched this doc. Do you know that his voice was dubbed over by another actor?
The whole movie?
The whole movie. Sam Jones quit Flash Gordon like right before they finished. He quit the movie. They still had extra shooting to do. He quit, got in a big fight with Dino De Laurentiis. They were almost days away from finishing shooting. He quit. They brought in another actor to dub his voice. That's not even what Sam Jones sounds like in Flash Gordon. And now I look at it and I'm like, oh, I notice it now.
Holy crap.
We were talking about exploitation movies. This is a really good one called The Theta Girl. I helped get this movie released, so it has a little Film Threat logo on there. A really weird, trauma-inspired, gory, a lot of fun. A classic, actually, we could have even talked about this film, Psychomania. It was George Sanders' last movie, classic actor from the 60s. And it's about a motorcycle gang that kill themselves and get resurrected as zombie versions. They're like a zombie motorcycle.
That sounds dope.
And it's so good. Once it gets to that part, it's awesome. It's very 60s. It's an awesome, look up Psychomania. Awesome film. Ah! My whole setup here is about to fall over.
Yeah.
Just a sec. Let me fix this. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. This is a cool doc about the Ren and Stimpy show. Happy, happy, joy, joy. I'm also in this doc too. I'm not just movies.
I'm in the doc.
This is a movie I bought many times. It's called Inside Moves, and it is the movie that Richard Donner made after Superman. So he made Superman, and the next movie he made is about a guy who tries to commit suicide, ends up disabled, and goes to a bar where there's all these other people who are disabled. Now that sounds like
sounds like a downer.
It's a brilliant film. It stars John Savage. It's David Morris's first film, if you know who David Morris is, the actor. And look him up. You've seen him in a million movies. And then I got one last recommendation, and it's a movie that I co-wrote and produced. It's called My Big Fat Independent Movie, and it's a parody of independent films. My Big Fat Independent Movie. There you go. And this is you can get this used on Amazon for like $2, but there's like parodies in it of
Memento.
Like Memento and Swingers and Clerks and whatnot. So get the double disc set because there's a drunken commentary on it.
Oh, perfect.
That's a lot of fun.
I miss commentaries, man. Commentaries are the best.
I still listen to them. To them. It's like the best film school is just a DVD commentary. So that's a little bonus for the super chat. You miss DVDs Day? Hey, I'll throw a little DVDs Day out there.
Dude, that was amazing. I feel honored.
There you go.
It's great.
There you go.
Marksman at 117B for $5 more. If you want to laugh, try this 2-minute video. La Australian painter has arrived by Scorpo? What is Scorpo?
What is that?
Scorpo makes some entertaining memes vids. Shout out to the Russian. To the Russian, not just Russians in general, the Russian. Well, I have to watch that. I don't know if I can watch it right now. It's 2 minutes long. It's pretty long.
Plus, you never know with copyright
That's true.
Stuff. I was on a stream with Chrissy Mayer. I was on a stream with Chrissy Mayer, and she got hit with a copy over a video I suggested.
Oh.
So I feel really bad. I was like, it was actually the last time that, because SNL is unwatchable now.
It is horrendous.
It is corporate. It's like state-produced comedy. It's so awful, and I religiously watch SNL. It was one of those things, though, like, you know, in more recent years, not the last couple years, but in recent years, I would I DVR it, and then I could watch it in 30 minutes. because I don't care about the musical guest.
Yeah,
I don't care about
skip.
But always the last sketch before the end is always some weird effed up thing.
Yeah, they're all like kind of tired, and they threw the sketch at the end because they don't, not as many people will be there. Yeah.
But they did this parody, and it's so good. It's with Ryan Gosling, and it's called Woke Jeans. It's the
yes. I know this.
It's the only time they made fun of wokeness. And
it's pretty great, actually.
Hilarious. If they lean into that, because I see like what Kyle Dunnigan's doing on his channel, and I'm like, he's doing funnier stuff than you can see on SNL because he's making fun of what's in the culture. And I feel like wokeness is a big part of the current culture. So why it's so ripe for parody? Why is it not being made fun of at all?
You're not allowed to make fun of it. It's like sacred cow that you cannot touch. And that's what SNL was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be taking those and being, making fun of that stuff. But yeah, that is a good sketch. That is actually a good sketch, the woke jeans.
And that was from 2017, and they haven't made fun of anything woke since. And
they haven't been funny since.
Oh my God. Have you ever seen the thing that Kyle Dunnigan did called Time Canceller?
No.
Oh my God. We should just watch Time Canceller
Time Canceller.
Time Canceller. I'm sure that he doesn't do strikes against you. It's called, can we watch it?
Yes.
I mean, okay. I don't know how you do stream.
Hey, Kyle, everybody go subscribe to Kyle Dunnigan, his YouTube channel. There, give him a promo.
There you go. It's like, okay,
he's a great guy.
Everyone knows about the Fresh Prez of DC.
Yes.
And then he did that thing Starboat, which is like a Star Trek parody. He obviously put so much into it, right? With all the deep fake stuff.
My name's
Time Canceller. I'm thinking he only did one of them, and then he just didn't do it.
Wait, Time Canceller. Abraham Lincoln canceled.
Yeah.
Is that
can you watch it?
Oh yeah. Do it. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
Let me share.
Will I be able to hear it or see it? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me share.
Yeah, this is weird. There have been no boomer moments on this. Everything's very smooth, going really well.
Now that you say that. Yeah,
exactly. I always love that when Gary screws up. I mean, it's so. I love it. He's just. Oh my God. He's an inspiration.
Oh, oops.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Time Canceller. I can't wait.
Let me see if you can hear this.
Okay.
Whoa.
What's that? Do we have to mute ourselves?
Now I'm getting it. What is going on?
Maybe that's a weird. Let's see.
I got a weird audio thing going on.
Okay, let's figure it out.
You said it. You said it. You said there was no boomer moments. You did it. You did it. Hold on. Yeah, mute yourself and then. You did it. Okay. Let's see why. Let's do this. Let's close. Oh, damn, I can't close that. All right. Let's see if I can. Play it now. No, I can't play it now. What the heck? Okay. Hold on. I'm going to do it again. Okay, you can unmute yourself. It usually works. I don't understand why it's not working right now. I'm going to try to do it on this screen. It's going to mess you guys up, but we're going to try it.
Let's do it.
Share the audio. We're going to do this. I'm going to go back to full. I'm going to switch to here.
Extremely racist tweet I made 9 years ago. Disgraced and alone,
I
hurled myself into a wood chipper. Luckily for me, a diverse team of strong women scientists saved my life and programmed me to be 10,000 times more sensitive than a normal man. Chaperoned by a diversity robot created to hold me accountable, we were sent back in history to cancel people from the past who break the rules of the future. I am the Time Canceller.
I'm just so sorry.
Fragility, white fragility.
It's one small step
Yeah. Kurt.
And now an all-new time canceller.
Time canceller, please, have mercy.
Sorry, Abraham. Hate speech has consequences.
But Negro's a progressive word in my time.
Not when I come from, you garbage person. Case canceled.
Literally
Bye,
Hitler.
DB.
Appropriation, cultural appropriation.
Canceller's log. You'd think I'd be feeling unstoppable after destroying the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, but the only thing that feels unstoppable now is my diarrhea. I still have to turn myself into my guidance counselor for my racially insensitive high-five assault on DiversityBot. Kip, do you think DiversityBot is your hilarious sidekick robot like R2-D2 or that Chinese boy from Temple of Doom? No, Counselor DeVecchio. I am so sorry. Why are you saying sorry to me? DB, please give me the chance to repair the racism that I've bestowed upon you. I feel so bad.
Fragility.
So now you're going to emotionally burden DiversityBot? No, I would never. Oh, so I'm a liar. No. Is that how you see me? Just a lying, crazy woman?
The cancel Tina.
My God.
All right, leave him alone. I'm sure the man regrets his violent racial outburst. Just let Captain Boomer fix you something stiff.
Just give me a gender bender.
One Jaden Smith coming up.
Hey, look, it's High Five Hitler.
Thanks. Sometimes I think I should just cancel myself.
Let's have no more of that talk.
I'm mostly machine now, but I guess there's still a typical dumbass white male in here somewhere, huh?
Well, the way I see it, you got two choices now. Climb back into the wood chipper, or... Oh, never mind, it's too dangerous.
What?
No, it's too dangerous.
More dangerous than a wood chipper?
100 times.
A wood chipper? Mm-hmm. Do you know what a wood chipper does?
Yeah.
And this is, the other thing is worse than that.
Yes.
A painful death is better than the other thing?
Aye.
So given the choice, you would hurl your body into a wood chipper.
That's right.
I'm 100% sure you don't know what a wood chipper is.
Yeah, wood chipper. Chops you into a million pieces. Yeah.
Huh.
Why, compared to this mission, going through a wood chipper would be easy peasy Japanesey.
Whoa, Boomer, aren't you afraid of getting canceled?
No, I have a sizable podcast following.
So what's the thing I can do to make up for the high five?
You'd have to cancel a man so masculine and so toxic, the likes of which you've never seen.
Where do I find such a man if that's what he identifies as?
Well, not in this time period, boyo. That's
Especially not behind the bar.
Ah, you, Tony.
How far back would I have to go?
Farther back than anyone's ever time canceled before.
Oh.
Hey guys,
I love
It's
the
been
whole line of
canceled.
The guidance canceller. It's just so.
So I'm a liar
bummed-
now? You're calling me a liar?
Exactly. Oh my God, I'm bummed that he only did one episode of that.
Yeah.
like
They gotta bring that back.
that
That's
was
hilarious.
Like,
Go
I'm
subscribe to
surprised
Kyle Dunnigan.
Yes, everyone. It's so his stuff is so good. But when I look at that, I'm like, that's where comedy needs to go. Like stuff that Kyle's doing or Ryan Long. I'm sure you watch Ryan Long. Like his stuff. Like it's great. And then like just seeing like Chrissy Mayer. Like she does not hold back. Like she's I love seeing her career just like blow up. I it's just surprising to me. What's gonna happen is I feel like the people that lean into it are going to do better and better out there, and then like you're going to see the latecomers go, oh no, I was always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
like,
also based. I'm come on.
God.
No. I'm gonna go see Chrissy tomorrow. She's playing at the Hyena in Dallas. So hey, if you're in Dallas, go see Chrissy tomorrow at the Hyenas.
She's great. She was on.
She's great.
Obviously, she's been on the last two nights of You Are Here.
Yeah, because she's in Dallas
with Sydney Watson
and Elijah Schaefer.
Elijah Schaffer. Yeah, no, I love. God, I've been watching Sydney Watson for years. Like her essays.
Really, I
her
never knew about her until you were here.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, it's if you go to her personal channel, she does these really in-depth and well-researched like video essays. She doesn't just like she's not like talking off the top of her head. Not that that's a bad thing, but she really goes into depth. I mean, she has like a script and writes it all out, and it's like all she'll refer to articles and like, yeah, no, I've been watching her for years, and I'm really happy that a lot of these people like are experiencing some kind of success. You mentioned Gothics.
Yeah.
I'm new to starting to watch her. Is she in Dallas as well?
I don't know where she's based out of, but I also didn't know about her too long ago. It was one of my mods in my Discord, a friend. She was like, "Hey, why don't you watch this video? I think you're gonna like her." And I saw her, and it was like buzz cut hair, and I was like,
right.
It was like red flag. But then I watched, and Gothics is awesome. She's really cool.
She's great. I mean, she was on FNT, right?
Yeah.
Like her and I think was it her and Clifton? Oh,
Yes.
and then last week you had Zuby on.
I know. I missed him.
Great.
I missed Zuby. I came in after Zuby left.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, people come in at different times. I always forget. But yeah, no, I went to Zuby had a meetup in LA. This was like I think it was like last summer, actually. He was like, I'm in town. I messaged him because we follow each other on social media, and he follows a lot of people. I'm not special or anything, but
Hey,
yeah, he had it.
You're special to me.
Okay, I'll take it. But he had this meetup in Los Angeles back in the summer. It was kind of depressing.
Really?
It was great to meet him because he's like this positive, like he's inspiring. He speaks from a place of common sense, right? Which I think, common sense is not a left or right thing, although it's increasingly more of right thinking, I guess. I don't know. I don't think of it as that.
I think it's mainly just because the goalposts have moved.
Yeah.
It's been the same here, but it's like moved this way.
But what was really surprising was that there were so few people. It was less than 100 people at this house. And I'm like, why aren't more people from LA like into doing a meetup, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a weird like Stockholm syndrome that's affected people in Los Angeles that I'm just really surprised.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I went through all of like the West last year because I went to Chaz. So I drove from Texas to Chaz all the way up there, and then I came down the coast and came into California. And like I said, like all the people that I met there, super nice, really chill, but there's just like kind of vibe of we're kind of freaked out because it was 2020, so people were still like really kind of on edge. It was in between the spikes, so there was like the first spike and it kind of went away a little bit, and then they kind of came back after that. And I went through in the middle of a spike or a downward spike, so it was a little more loose, but it was still kind of like, hey, wear your mask, don't get close to me.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a time where we're just not as divided over all this stuff. It's hard even not to talk about, especially being here because it's just right in front of my face constantly.
Yeah.
So although I do know there are places that are less restrictive. God, I don't want to say too much. They're just places that
like speakeasies. We're going back to speakeasies, man.
Yeah, no, first of all, there are real legit speakeasies that have popped up, which is awesome. But there are just places that are like, yeah, that's not our job to enforce that. We're not.
That's good. That's good to know, at least.
Cards, we're not doing any of that. We don't care. And I would say it's about 50% of businesses.
That's good.
Just are not caring. And
it needs to be more, but hey.
It's not that they're not like enforcing it. It's just that they don't see it as their job to do that. Like
they're like, hey, if the state wants to mandate it, they got to send their boot guys down here to make it mandated.
Yeah, exactly. It's
not me.
They give lip service to following the rules, and then they just don't enforce the rules, right? Like there's signs that say, if you enter this place, you must have a mask. And then there are people there and no one's wearing a mask and no one cares.
Yeah, that's what I found too. It's like you just kind of, and then somebody might go, hey, could you put on a, you go, all right.
I just think it's more and more people are waking up to the fact that you can make your own health choices. I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear a mask, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll say this, even, having gone through all this stuff, is like, I always get sick when I get on a plane. I always get sick when I get on a plane. I'm serious. Like, I go to Sundance every year in Park City, not in the last couple of years, but I always come back and that's why I would get the flu shot, right? Because I had a pneumonia once where I have like 80% lung capacity because I had such a bad case of pneumonia.
Oh man.
It was about 20 years ago. So
is it the cold or something? You're going to the cold?
No, it's just going to Sundance where people are flying in from all over the world and just get sick.
It's like like the Comic-Con crud.
Yeah, crud. It's just like that. So I think I'll probably still wear a mask on a plane, but that's like my choice, right? Like, that makes sense to me.
Do what you want to do. Don't make anybody else do things they don't want to do. It's not hard, Yeah,
exactly. God, it sucks that we even have to
you have to say that. It's dumb, ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's dumb, and it's just We should talk about movies.
Hey,
that's a time canceller.
Time canceller. Cancel.
If Dunnigan comes on again, or Kurt Metzger, you gotta bug them to do
another one. I gotta do another one. I like how they threw Joe Rogan in there for no reason.
What is that from?
I don't know. I think they got him to shoot it. I think he's a part of it.
Just do one shot.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, let's just get Joe. Like, hey, just throw on a wig and then."
Thing.
Yeah. Hey, we're also over on ODYSEE. Didn't know we're double streaming here. We're on YouTube and we're on ODYSEE. And hey, look, the ODYSEE team actually sent me a hyper chat. It just says, "Yo, so what's up, ODYSEE over there? You guys are watching. We're over there. Do you have a channel over there yet?"
I do not have a channel there. I mean, I would like to be on ODYSEE. I just think I want to be able to mirror my content that's on YouTube and just put it all on ODYSEE.
That's what they do. It's pretty great.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, we can figure that out.
ODYSEE contact me. Just go to my website. Go to filmthreat.com. There's a button that says contact. That goes directly to me, and that goes for anybody else who's watching that wants to contact me for whatever reason. You can just say hi.
Just say yo. Just say yo.
Just say yo. Just say yo Gore. What up?
Yeah, ODYSEE's really cool. I'm liking it a whole lot.
Well, I would like to be on there. So we do live streams on Film Threat. We do these things called watch parties. And this Friday, I'm probably gonna have to leave Friday Night Tights maybe a little early, because at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we're doing a watch party for this movie called The United States of Insanity. Here's a little plug, a movie recommendation. Consider it a movie recommendation. Yeah. This movie, it's a documentary about ICP, Insane Clown Posse. And
is it's about the band or is it about the Juggalos? Because I watched one about the Juggalos and the whole where they get together every year. Oh, so good.
And the Juggalos,
I know nothing about the band, but I know the Juggalos, and they're hilarious, and I love it.
They're from Detroit, which is where I'm from, and ICP. You learn about their history, but what the thread in the doc is, it's about the FBI labeling the ICP fans, the Juggalos, as a gang. And targeting them. This is a thing that's happening right with the FBI. Their overreach, they're going after Proud Boys. They're going after parents that want to complain to their school boards, which is BS. And they went after there was a court case, and the Insane Clown Posse fought back against the FBI. And it's about that court case, and it's an incredible documentary. So we're doing a watch party on the Film Threat YouTube channel with the director of that movie, and we're going to watch that documentary. So
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, you got to definitely see. Well, you're going to be on FNT, so you're probably not going to be able to. What I might do, if Gary will let me, I'm going to go and intro it, and then I could come back.
Oh yeah. So,
I wonder if he'd let me do that. I'll ask Gary. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure that should be cool. I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this real quick. Mr. Tickle Trunk for 149 Canadian syrup coins just sends us a sticker, a popcorn sticker. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
I love popcorn.
I love that name. Marksman of 117B for $2. Gore, know anything about movie Mad God? The movie Mad God.
Mad God is a stop motion animated movie directed by Phil Tippett. I have not seen it, right?
It's supposed to be coming out
trailer-
soon, right?
Supposed to be coming out, but directed by Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett, worked at ILM.
Mhm.
He
The
did
legend.
most famously, the legend. I mean, most famously, he did, the AT-ATs, the
Mhm.
Walkers, the Imperial Walkers. Like that was him.
Yeah.
Among other things that were stop motion animated in The Empire Strikes Back. He's mostly known for that. So he worked on this movie for I want to say, I could be wrong, 30 years? I know it was over
I
a
think it was
decade.
like 30 or 40 years. Like it's been a
30
long, he's been
years.
working in it for a long time.
And I believe it played Fantasia Fest. I know that there's a review on the Film Threat website. If you go to filmthreat.com, I mean, indie film is our bread and butter, so check that out. But yeah, Mad God, I'm dying to see it.
Yeah, I want to
when
see it.
When it comes out, I mean, I'm hoping to be able to interview him because that's
Dude,
what I
that'd be
do
so
mostly.
cool.
Yeah, mostly.
I'm
on my
a
YouTube
huge fan
channel.
fan of Tippett. I went to college for animation, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was all into finding out all the different animators, and I've always been into stop motion and go motion, and Ray Harryhausen and
Ray Harryhausen, of course.
and Phil Tippett, and yeah, it's all that stuff, and I can't wait to see it. I love those like passion projects. There was the guy, the animator that animated Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He has a similar passion project. I don't think it ever actually got finished, but it's the Thief and the Cobbler. It's the Arabian Knights, where he through his whole life it's like this magnum opus of this animation. And I wonder if there's a documentary about it. His name's Richard. I can't remember. It's something Rich or something. But he's a 2D animator. He was the art director for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And this movie, it's so intricate. There's this scene where it comes in over Agrabah, kind of this Arabian city, and it swings around, and it looks like it's 3D the way he hand drew every single frame, right? But it comes in and it swings around the palace and comes all the way up this tower, and it shows like the very peak of the tower. It's amazing. But what happened is like he was commissioned to do it. He had a contract with, I can't remember what company, but they took it and said he was taking too long. They took it, reshot it, and re-edited it, and replaced like these really intricate, unfinished scenes with just like, hey, let's just get this through. So there's a version out there that did get released that wasn't very good. And there's like a version out there that is all his stuff. And there needs to be some kind of like, I don't know, tribute or something, because he did pass away. I wish I can remember his name. That can like bring all of his ideas together and animate it and finish those things, because it's actually a really good movie. Thief and the Cobbler, animated movie. Yeah, if you don't know about it, you should check it out. It's really good.
All right, I'll throw another one back at you. I'm sure you know who Will Vinton is.
Yes.
Will Vinton is a stop motion. He's mostly known for the California Raisins.
Yes.
You've seen those like cheesy, but he did a lot of stuff. And there's a documentary that it's not out yet, but it played at the Tribeca Film Festival. I interviewed the director, and I'm forgetting the name of the documentary, but it's the story of Will Vinton. Unbelievable stuff that I never knew anything about. And one of his big passion projects, which bombed and nearly bankrupted his company, is The Adventures of Mark Twain. It's a claymation movie about Mark Twain, and it's actually for free on YouTube. You can look it up.
Wow. I love YouTube.
Exactly. The whole movie is on YouTube because I don't even think it's available legally. That movie almost destroyed his company, and it's about Will Vinton's legacy, the technology, everything that he won an Oscar for a short claymation animated film from the 70s called Closed Mondays, which I actually saw as a kid in the movie theater, which is weird that I know that. But yeah, Closed Mondays is bizarre. It's so incredible. But he did this feature-length film that was his passion project for years, and it just tanked at the box office.
Yeah.
Just didn't do any money. But it's on YouTube, The Adventures of Mark Twain. Look it up, Will Vinton. It's there. You're adding it to. Well, here's what
I'm
I
adding
always
it
do.
over here.
I always add stuff to my watch history, and then I have so many playlists of stuff that it's like
it gets kind of unwieldy.
Yeah, no,
Richard Williams, that was his name. Richard Williams. He passed away in 2019, so not too long ago.
Yeah, Will Vinton also passed away before this doc was finished. But the doc is a really amazing tribute to his life. But if you like stop motion, especially like, obscure stuff, The Adventures of Mark Twain, it's like it was supposed to be made for kids, but some of the stuff in it is so scary. You're like, this is not
How
for
did you
kids.
do that?
If kids watch this, they would be creeped out and scared.
So I kind of miss that kind of stuff, the edgy, the kind of stuff that gets you scared as a kid. Stuff that doesn't take it over the edge, but it gets you scared. Like stuff like for me was like Brave Little Toaster. Scenes in that are like really scary. The one with like the clown, that's pretty scary. What is it? Land Before Time. That's also another kids movie that was scary. The T-Rex in that movie, terrifying.
Well,
they don't do that anymore.
Clowns are just terrifying to begin with. God, I read this thing, I forget where, but it was like a study that they did, and it was like this clown organization wanted to do a study about like how popular clowns were. So I think they did a
It's not going to go well.
Kids. It was like 200 kids, and they're like, would you like a clown at your birthday party? Literally just asking, several hundred kids, do you want a clown at your birthday party? 100% of the kids said no. They did not want a clown.
Hell no.
No, because clowns are scary.
What is there? Why did they ever think clowns were fun? I don't understand at what point in history were clowns fun? Because they're always been scary.
I mean, like, look at all the different interpretations of the Joker, right? The Joker.
It's terrifying.
Clearly one of the best, comic book villains of all time, is just a clown, right? I mean, so bizarre. There's also a really interesting documentary about a guy, a clown you could hire and send to people, but it was supposed to be like a scary clown. What's the name of that doc? God, see, now I want to find.
Hey, Steve-O. Steve-O's a clown.
Steve-O, really?
Yeah, he's a trained clown. He performed as a clown in the circus.
I gotta go to my own.
That's how he could do all those crazy tricks.
What is the name of this? Wrinkles the Clown.
Wrinkles.
Oh my God, Wrinkles the Clown. We should watch this. We should watch this trailer. I'll put it in the private if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about clowns, and this is also a cool. I like to, at least because I've been getting invited on a lot of shows. I like to make sure you get value from me being here, right? So I like to throw out a lot of movie recommendations.
I appreciate all of it. I appreciate you just being here, bro. It's so cool.
But I'm
all right,
learning,
private chat. Let's see. I'm messing up the whole show. Don't worry about it.
For the private chat on StreamYard. You know what I love is when...
hey, don't go away. What? Don't worry about it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I see it.
Yeah, the last
copy, open, move over here. Oh, shit. It's already started.
Okay.
Not going to move it up here. Moving it over here. Full screening it.
You've got a really nice setup. I'm literally... This is just my MacBook Pro.
It doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. It works sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. All right, share. We're messing up the screen again. Here we go. Share and go. There we go. It usually works much better than this. All right. Can you hear that? Sweet.
Hey, Wrinkles, I need you to come get these kids. Yeah, I got a child that's supposed to be here. $30, come scare them.
Oh, I've seen this. Yes.
I found out about Wrinkles through a news story.
Meet Southwest Florida's Wrinkles the Clown.
Hi, Wrinkles. I'm a reporter at the Washington Post.
I'm a reporter at the Naples Daily News.
I've just seen your story blow up online.
You can call him. He'll scare people for you.
You've reached Wrinkles the Clown.
You're scaring little people that can't defend themselves.
I'll take this baseball bat and beat your brains in.
You don't know if he's trying to do this for fun or trying to kill you. It's like a boogeyman situation.
Oh my God!
We know that there's a human underneath, and yet you don't know his identity, and that creeps people out.
You better be afraid of Wrinkle. He's real.
By calling him, you're essentially inviting him into your life.
It's like Beetlejuice.
What was different about this was the viral nature of the social media.
There's 2 people in his body, multiple personalities. He's been working like this for almost 65 years.
Who are you and why are you doing this?
People have made a ritual out of calling him.
The fear would overtake us.
You know, no one was hiring me when I was just a regular clown. I just thought, yeah, you know, maybe I'll give it a little edge.
You've reached Wrinkles the Clown. Leave me a message, I'll call you back.
Guys, there's something outside.
That's good. I saw that. I think it was on. It was whenever I worked at my corporate job. I was just like trolling because the only thing I had access to, I didn't have access to YouTube. It was Vimeo, and I think that was on Vimeo. At least the trailer. I never got to saw the actual movie.
No, it's great. Vimeo's great. It's like a great platform. It's sort of like, you know, it's mainly for indie filmmakers.
Yeah.
It's a great platform for that.
There's a lot of great
like,
little docs and all kinds of little independent short films, stuff like that. It's cool. I watched like a 2-hour-long documentary about one guy just sailing around the world. That was it. He was in a sailboat, and it was just like his adventures going around the world.
And they curate a lot of good stuff. Their short films are great.
Yeah.
The short films on Vimeo are really good. And then Vimeo does this one thing that I wish YouTube could do, which is you can upload a different video file to a link and the link doesn't change. Meaning like,
hey, ODYSEE.
Does ODYSEE do that?
I'm not sure. I think so, maybe. But if it doesn't, ODYSEE.
That's a cool, because like, you know, I'll send a link out to somebody that I'm like, oh, I got to fix something, you know, in like a film project. And then it's like, oh, I got to send them another link. It's like, no, you don't. You just upload it to the same link with the same password. It's just a different video file.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why YouTube does that. Like they don't allow you to change the file.
Well, I know exactly why, because they don't want people commenting on a video and then you change the video.
Swap it out.
So you'd swap it out. You'd say, oh, I love this. And it's like, then it ends up being a video.
I could see that. I could see that.
You know, yeah. But Vimeo lets you do that, which is like incredibly useful.
But I think it's because Vimeo is like a paid service, right? You have to actually pay to be on there for a certain It's more for a professional production kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's very friendly to indie filmmakers. YouTube is friendly. I don't know if YouTube is, I don't know. It's weird because I'll watch it and I'm like, I love the way that people have to get around talking about certain topics.
It's very interesting.
It's really interesting. I'm just like, whoa. And like, I like the creative ways of getting around it, which is fine, but it's just like, it is very telling what they don't want you to talk about. Right. It's just like, it's really, and just like Crowder being like constantly like, what are the, you know what I mean?
Dude, we don't even know why we got a strike. There's no information. It just says like, we don't like hate speech. And we're like, we have an hour-long show with multiple topics. At what point are we getting a strike for? Because if you wanted to, you know, help curve the community from saying bad things, why don't you tell me what the bad thing that I said was so I could maybe not say it?
Give me the it's
you know,
because
like that's kind of like our thing is like we will play by your rules. If you don't want us to say something, we will just do it on the paywall side on our platform. we'll just move that to over there. But we don't know what you want. We don't know what you want.
Well, do they not realize it's a comedy show? I mean, like, I see it as like a comedy show that talks about politics.
Yeah.
I don't see it as a political show. I mean, it's political show in the sense that many of the topics are political, right? I mean,
well, I think just by the people that are on it,
Yeah.
you know, Stevens can't come from a political background, and he's conservative, and so is Gerald, and so am I to an extent, and so is Dave. You know, he's more comedy, so it's just by the nature of us being who we are is kind of where the show goes and why the things that we talk about.
You think they get it, but they don't seem to get it.
They don't get it. Jessica Grant for $9.99. No message, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for sending in the
Thanks,
super chat.
Jessica.
So cool. All right. Well, is there anything else? Any other movies you want to suggest?
We've really talked about quite a bit. I would say one last recommendation.
Yes, please.
One last recommendation I'll throw out before I'm out of here. The Spine of Night. I have mentioned this on FNT a couple times. Look up The Spine of Night. It's a rotoscoped animated sword and sorcery movie that features incredible gore, some of the goriest stuff you'll see. It's basically a heavy metal comic book brought to life.
I was thinking that exact thing. I was like, this looks like heavy metal.
And it's like a ton of full frontal nudity.
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. It's just like tons. In fact, I think the lead woman in the movie is just naked the entire movie. Her outfit is like sort of like she has like a fur around her, but she's basically full frontal nude the whole film. And it was all shot with actors. But then what they did is they did the rotoscoping, which is the same technique that they used for The Hobbit back in the 70s when they did that, right? So
heavy metal.
Was it Lord of the Rings?
It was Lord of the Rings. It wasn't The Hobbit because they did that was Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass.
The other one was
the other Lord of the Rings, which was like Lord of the Rings Part 1 that they never finished.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll have to go back and research that.
He's a big animator guy. I can't remember. Why can I not remember his name?
Is it Ralph Bakshi?
Yes, that's it.
Ralph Bakshi, that's it.
Ralph Bakshi. Yeah.
Ralph
Interesting
Bakshi,
guy. Interesting guy. Very interesting. I'm going to recommend something to you if you have not watched this already.
Let's hear it.
Primal. Have you watched Primal?
Wait, is that that's an animated
it's
show?
It's animated
right?
show. Okay, so
yes, I've heard of it. I saw the trailer for it. It looks awesome.
Dude, go watch it. It is metal. So it's created by Gendy Tartakovsky.
Gendy Tartakovsky?
Yes.
Who did the original Clone Wars, which I thought was
better.
I thought it was better. I liked that
so much
Clone
better.
Wars. It's to like the sort of weird animation. I did not like it. I was just like, nah, I'm out. This looks too.
No.
I love that original Clone
The original
Wars
was so much better.
Was so good. The stories were great too.
And it was 15 minutes. He packed so much stuff into 15 minutes.
These amazing shorts that kind of filled in the gap between, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
So imagine
kind of a prequel to Revenge of the Sith.
Imagine like that kind of action and kind of emotion that you can get, especially the episodes that it's like no dialogue is given, like the Mace Windu episode where he comes in and he just annihilates all those droids. That's kind of this show stretched out to a full season of shows. So it's about just this caveman and a dinosaur, and they're forced to work together, and it's just amazing. There's no dialogue. It's all action and slower emotional parts, and you get no dialogue. You get it all through expression and action, and it is the best show on TV. Period. It's so good. It is so good. You got to watch it.
Kind of reminds me of.
It's on HBO Max.
Okay, I have the HBO Max.
It's on.
Okay, so all right, that's on my list. And
I'm gonna watch this now.
The way you described it, you've ever heard of Aeon Flux?
Yeah,
I'm sure you've heard of Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
Not the new one that they made, which I thought was terrible. The original series of shorts, like from the mid '90s, are just amazing because they're, again, no dialogue and just like incredible, so inspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah, another great.
Yeah.
We could sit here and throw out recommends.
We could, dude.
But it's like playing war. But Garrett, wow, dude, it's been great. Like,
dude,
just being out, like hanging out. It's like just like we're hanging out.
Hell yeah, dude. It's been great.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the channel and hanging out and
Hell
talking
yeah.
about a movie and recommending things. What do you want to plug? What you got going?
I would say plug my watch party on Friday. Well, I'm going to be on Friday Night Tights on
You're going to
Friday.
be on Friday Night Tights.
And then I'm going to leave and I'm going to go intro the United States of Insanity, which we're going to be doing a watch party on the Film Threat YouTube channel. So come by the Film Threat YouTube channel Friday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're doing a watch party. And I'm hoping if you're an ICP fan, we might have some, I can't say. If you're a fan of ICP, you're a juggalo, you need to be watching live this watch party. It's gonna be something special. So I'm really excited to do that. So that would be the thing I would plug. And look, if you like my recommendations, go to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out filmthreat.com. We post reviews every day of new weird indie movies. If you're a filmmaker, you can send us your movie and we'll review it. Anything.
Oh, that's right.
Anything. So there you go. Cool.
There you go. Well, thanks for coming on, brother. And we'll do it again sometime in the future. We'll figure out another obscure ass movie that I have a lot of questions about, and we'll watch and we'll talk about it. So I'll see you Friday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably, more than likely, we'll probably be playing Halo or some shit. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go subscribe to Chris. Peace. It's the post-credits Chad stream with me and you. The post-credits Chads. If you don't know, if this is your first time, if it's the first time for you being a Chad, let me explain what that means. It means that you stuck around for so long that all of the regular people that, hey, they just, as soon as I said bye, they left. They're gone. They're watching some cat video right now. But you stayed. You said, hey, I'm going to hang out and watch this word say goodbye or good night with no music for at least, 20, 30 seconds? And then I'm going to stick around. And this stream for you. This is for you. I didn't miss you, Marksman. I got you. I got you, my brother. I got both of yous. Okay, here we go. Marksman 117B for $2. Have you seen Mr. Nobody from 2009? I'm not. It was in my queue for a long time and I freaking never watched it. I need to watch it. Is it good? I'm assuming that it's good. That's why you're saying it. Marksman of 117B, again, thank you. I appreciate it for $2 more. Either of you guys see the show Dreamscape LLC? What is Dreamscape LLC? Dreamscape. I hope, hey, Marksman, I hope that you're a post-screen Chad. so you can hear me read these. Let's see. LLC. Why'd you say LLC? It's like a business? Dreamscape. This is a game? What is this? Oh, wait. Okay, hold up. It's got Dennis Quaid in it. Is this the movie you're talking about? Dennis Quaid? Kate Capshaw? No, I've not seen it. What the fuck? Oh, man. They're straight up trying to be like Indiana Jones. This poster I'm looking at just straight up just looks like Indiana Jones. But no, I have not. Oh my god, straight up Indiana Jones. Oh my god. They were not hiding it. And actually, Dennis Quaid, I was watching the Red Letter Media talk about the other Dennis Quaid movie that he was in. I forgot what it's called. Enemy Mine. And he looks a lot like Harrison Ford. He looks a lot like Harrison Ford. And over here on the donation side, actually no, wait, this is the same super chat. Never mind. It just put it in the same list, so we're good. Let's see who the Chads are. Who are the Chads? Marksman, you made it. You made it, bro. Master Farce Theater, you're Chad. Evil One, what's up? Leanne of Tennessee, what's up? I love Tennessee. I went there, got some hot chicken. It was great. Hung out with Doug TeNapel. Went to the woods. Stayed in a cabin. Tennessee's awesome. Marksman 117B, Dream Corp. Sorry, Dream Corp LLC. Dream Corp. Oh man, you done took me down a whole different rabbit hole. Dream Corp LLC. Now I'm going down this rabbit hole. Let's go. No, I've not seen this. Is it Adult Swim? Looks like Adult Swim. This looks wacky. My god. I gotta figure... Where can I watch this? This is probably on HBO, right? I think all of the Adult Swim stuff's on HBO. In 7, what's up? Myth of Empires. I know. Look, Az has gone so far down the Myth of Empires track. I've got to catch up. I've got to catch up to him. I gotta play some Myth of Empires. I saw, before I was setting up the stream today, I saw the little blip that said Az was getting on the game. I was like, damn it. I need more time. I need more time. Maybe we'll play that tomorrow. We'll play that instead of Halo. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I would like to... Fuck, dude. My schedule is so packed lately. It's nuts. That's what this post-credit screen... Man, I can't fucking speak. Post-credits scene Chad stream. Say that 5 times fast. It's all about me just fucking talking about how bad my schedule is. And shooting the shit. Dude, my schedule is super, super tight. So, get this. Every week, my Mondays and Tuesdays are generally fine. You know, I've got regular, we do the show in the morning, then I get off. I try to get in maybe a game stream on a Monday or a Tuesday if I'm lucky. But most of the time, I'm just like wiped. Then, Wednesday comes around, and Wednesday, Wednesday's like, yo, you thought Mondays and Tuesdays suck? Nuh-uh, man. I got you. Look, I'm on Adam's stream, and then I do a stream right after Adam's stream. And in the morning, I do Louder with Crowder. So I've got 3 live streams on Wednesdays. And then Thursday comes around, so which means I do the morning show. Then after, I try to watch whatever we're going to be talking about for Friday Night Tights. So like, if it's a movie, like tomorrow, it's Spider-Man, which I'm totally down to watch. But it's still something you got to do. Like, I love doing streams. It's fucking ton of fun, but it is still, like energy. You gotta use energy to do it. It's not easy. I mean, it's easier than I'm not, cutting down trees. I'm not saving babies out of burning buildings or nothing. But it still takes a little bit of energy. Just pat myself on the back over here. So on Thursdays I do the morning show. Then I have to go watch a movie. I schedule myself that way, and then I try to do another game stream at night. But this week I've got to do the morning movie. Then I'm fitting in a movie, the morning show. Then fitting in a movie. Then right after the movie, going straight to Chrissy's show to go watch Chrissy. It's gonna be a long day. And then Friday, obviously Friday Night Tights. But I can't. It sucks. I can't go to Friday Night Tights this week because we're setting up for a Christmas special for Loud with Crowder, so I can't make it to Friday Night Tights. This bugs me, man. Which I do have an announcement to make, which we will make on Monday, so look out for that. It's regarding me and Loud with Crowder and Friday Night Tights. That's all I'm going to say. So tease that for the post-credits scene chance. Hey, well, while I was explaining my fucking week schedule like a bitch, we got some super chats over here. Aaron Redacted for $4.99. Have you played Alien Fireteam Elite yet? No, I have not played that. That's that dope game that 2D game, right? Alien Fireteam Elite. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's not the 2D game. Maybe it's a different game. Oh yeah, this is a different game. Oh, what is this? Yo, this looks cool. I have to check that out. Well, thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. Add it to my list of games I need to play. Cordy Genrich. Don't you love how I add extra syllables into words and names? I'm a quarter black too. What's up, my mixed brother? Did you watch The Good Son when you were a kid? Check it out if you didn't. That kid was evil. I didn't actually watch that movie. I didn't. That was the one Macaulay Culkin movie I didn't watch. I think it was just because we never had the VHS, so I just never watched it. Did you watch Pagemaster? Freaking Macaulay's best film right there. That's right, I said it. Best film. Fuck you. I love having arguments with nobody. Yeah, that's right. Good night, mister. You be teased. You be thoroughly teased. Actually, I'll tell you guys. I was going to tell the mods. As soon as everybody replies, I'll tell you the secret. But don't tell anybody in the stream right now that I told you that. Pixel City Art, what's up? What's up? I seen it. Never heard of Pagemaster? What the fuck? Whoa, hold up. Did somebody say they never heard of Pagemaster? Or are you saying that you've never heard of Pagemaster, Andrew? Ben, what's up? What's going on? Good night, mister. Just having an argument with himself. Lena of Tennessee. I want to hear you, Andrew. I want to hear you answer that. Answer my question. Have you never heard of it, or did somebody say they never heard of it? And I want you to point me right to that freak so I can suggest that movie to them. But while you're answering that, Lena of Tennessee, love you all so much. Still can't figure out how to reset this shit to send money. Hey, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Hey, if you want to send me money, if you want to support the show, go buy some merch. You know, hey, that's stuff that's for you. I get less of a kickback, but you know what I do get a kickback of? I get a kickback of feels, because whenever I see you guys wearing my shirt, it feels great. All right, Andrew, never watched or heard of it. Never watched or heard of it. My God. You've never heard of Page Master? You need to rectify that, you son of a bitch. Look. Hey, Xevious, what's up? What's going on? Excuse me while I whip this out. Andrew here has never seen Page Master, the great Macaulay Culkin movie. Okay, look, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you the whole plot, but I'll tell you some of it. Okay, so it's about this kid, all right, and this kid is a nerdy kid, and he's too scared. He's scared of everything, and he's scared of getting hurt. He don't want to climb up in a tree because he's like, oh well, calculations mean that, you know, like you're gonna get hurt if you climb up in a tree, so I don't really want to do that. So his dad is building a tree house for him, and he runs out of nails, and he's like, hey, go get some nails from the hardware store. So Macaulay Culkin goes out to get some nails from the hardware store, and it starts raining, and then he goes, oh, it's raining so hard that I gotta go inside this library. And he goes inside the library, and it's, dude, I'm telling you, it's raining outside, there's lightning. He goes inside this library, and who's at the desk? It's nobody in there but Christopher Lloyd. And it's Christopher Lloyd, and he is the librarian, and he's like trying to sell him on these books. He's like, ooh, what are you here for? Are you here for adventure? Are you here for action? Are you here for horror? What are you here for? And he's like, oh, it's just raining outside. Can I use your phone or something? And he's like, oh, you're not here for a book. He's like, oh no, I'm not here for a book. And he goes, okay. Then he goes, the phone's down the hall and to the left or whatever. So then he goes down the hall, and then he gets sucked in to the book world. Man, he gets sucked into the book world, and he turns into a cartoon, and then the whole rest of the movie until the very end, he's a cartoon, and he's going through classic adventure books. So he goes through like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He goes to like Treasure Island. He does like, you gotta watch it. It's awesome. They came out in like the early 90s. I believe it came out after Home Alone, but I can't believe you never heard or watched it. Go watch it. If you got kids, watch it with your kids. If you don't have kids, watch it with yourself, because you're gonna like it. Let's see. While I was explaining that, let's see. Leanne of Tennessee, I'm 1/8 Nigerian and 1/8 Jew. Makes me a quarter Pak. Yes, it does. It does make you a quarter person of color. Man, Page Master though, dude. Page Master. Ben, right? So better. So wait, hold up. Evil One, Never-Ending Story really influenced Page Master. It does kind of have that feel, you know, like you're jumping into a story and it's all about adventure and love and books. I will have to say though, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Never-Ending Story as much as I did when I was a kid. I went to go watch it, and I did not like it. I watched it recently, and I was like, man, this does not hold up. Did not hold up for me. But what held up? I don't know how to speak. It's the end of the day. What did hold up though was like the idea by the end, whenever Bastion is being like, the Empress is explaining to him who Bastion is to the story, and that he's the one that's like watching their story, and that there's somebody watching Bastion's story, and then it's like, oh shit, she's talking about us. She's talking about the viewers that are watching the movie. Wow. I thought that was cool. That was a cool little beat in the story. It's okay, Andrew. There's still time to watch it and save your childhood. Thank you, Ben. Andrew, I feel like my childhood was a total rob. It was totally robbed from you. And freaking Christopher Lloyd, he plays a wizard, man. Well, he plays the librarian, but he also plays this wizard. in it. Come on, it's great. And he has 3 little book companions. They get up to all kinds of hijinks. It's got Christopher Lloyd. It's got Macaulay Culkin. It's got Whoopi Goldberg. It's got Stewart. Some fucking James. Why am I not? Fucking Mr. X. Xavier. What's his fucking name? Not Jon Stewart. That's Green Lantern. Patrick Stewart. It's got the guy that does the voice for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He does the voice for Roger Rabbit, I believe. I may be wrong about that. But yeah, it's a good fucking movie. Oh, it's also got fucking Leonard Nimoy. He's in it. There's a lot of notable actors in it. Well, Whoopi Goldberg back when she was good. Okay, she was good back in the 90s. She's kind of trash now, you know. She really set in her morbid ways. But she was good back then. She plays like a fairy book princess thing. And it's got that, you know, it's got that 90s kind of, they weren't afraid to make you scared as a kid. There's some scary parts in it with like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There's some cool parts like with the Treasure Island and the dragon. There's a dragon scene thing. It's good. Okay, it's good. I'm gonna stop talking about Page Master. You should go watch it. You should definitely go watch it. Ed Begley Jr. Ed Begley Jr. Who's Ed Begley Jr.? Is that the guy I was talking about? I may be totally fucking wrong, you know. I could possibly be wrong. Ed Begley Jr. Yes, right. Yeah, he plays the dad. He plays the dad. I'm falling to sleep to it tonight. Hell yeah! Fuck yeah! I would do that too if I didn't have to go to bed and go to work tomorrow. Dude, Page Master. Dude, if you search Ed Begley Jr. right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th entry is Page Master. Page Master. Page Master's the shit, bro. All right, everybody. I'm going to go eat because I'm freaking hungry. The Good Son was pretty good. Pixel City Art. I need to go watch it. It's got Elijah Wood in it. He is the good son. The bad son is Macaulay. I don't know if I can believe Macaulay Culkin is a bad kid. Everything I've seen in him, he's been a good guy. What movie are you talking about? What? Where'd you go? Leanne of Tennessee, where did you go? I was talking about Page Master this whole time. All right, see you, Boss Hog. You're getting out of here. Peace. Boo, you're not allowed to leave. All right, for real, I'm hungry. I just, my stomach growled. I don't know if you could hear that, but it just growled. So I'm gonna go find something to eat. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're in the North Texas area, go see Chrissy Meyer's comedy show at Hyena Comedy Club, because I'm gonna be there. I think, obviously Chrissy Meyer's gonna be there. Carrie Smith is gonna be there. We'll see who else is gonna be there, but some people are gonna be there. If you're up in the North Texas area, go watch it. We're gonna hang out. It's gonna be fun. Maybe we'll do a live stream after that when I get home, but we'll see. I don't have to go into work till later on Friday, so we might do some late night gaming. We'll see how that goes. All right, I'll see you guys later, you chads, you frickin' chads. Love you, bye.